Hey guys, good morning. It's Mike from Markup. Um, I wanted to cover something that I had talked about last week, and I just wanted to circle back and see how it played out. So last week I had posted a video, kind of going over some possibilities for the euro yen, and what I was hoping to see. And so I left my markup on my chart here all week, and you can see we're sitting here at a 4 hour chart. And I'll post the video for anybody who didn't get a chance to watch it. But what I said, I was hoping would happen would be I don't think I was expecting a rise off of this trend line all the way up to this support or this resistance here, but that's exactly what happened. And then what I wanted to see happen was a retracement back down to this, a retracement back down to the trend line here, and then a break, and then I said, if that happens, if we get a break of the trend line, it's going to retest and it's just going to tank down to these areas down here, with this area being the end goal. But I don't think that's not going to happen just yet. But I said, we're going to touch all of these levels and potentially retest all of these levels on the way down. So if you look at what happened, I mean, that's pretty to the tick what happened. It comes back down, breaks this trend line, and then if we zoom in to a 15-minute, I mean, I know that I pretty much only traded this chart for probably about 2 days straight, um, both on Nadex and Forex. It was fantastic. So I knew that there are a couple areas that I wanted to get in. Let's just get our drawing tools up so that we can outline some of those for you. So I knew that I wanted to get in right here. So I took a Nadex strike that was below my zone here. And why did I do that? Well, I did that because we broke the trend line. We came all the way back down to the demand zone and to the bottom of the demand zone, and then we retested that trend line, and you can see that 50 moving average on the way back up. So I knew that once we came back down to the bottom of the supply zone, there was a pretty good chance that we weren't going to try and make it all the way down to this support line yet, but we were going to try and retest this trend line. So we did that. I stayed in that trade for probably about 30 minutes. I was a Nadex trade. Then I got in the other way. So we came back up to the trend line. I got in right there, and I grabbed a strike that was above this 50 moving average. And also, if we take our fib tool here, I also used this, and I'll see if I can find some of the trade examples that I have, the actual Nadex statements, and post those in too. You can see exactly where my strike was, but you can see that I had the 61.8 retracement, that trend line, and the 50 moving average, and my strike was somewhere up around where the 786 retracement was. So I had a good bit going in my favor there. I believe I got in quickly. If we just extend this again, I believe I got in quickly on this second touch too, right there. I didn't stay in that one for too long. It was still profitable. Clearly, it didn't hold, but once the trend line broke, or once it retested that 50 moving average and then came back down and broke the trend line again, it was just downhill from there. So you can see that we tapped the trend line here. I got in a Forex statement that I held for a good bit of time once it broke and gave me that little wick up to try and retest. So let's see, I grabbed that Forex statement here, and then I held this. You can see there's a little bit of resistance that you could have grabbed the quick Nadex statement at the top of that demand zone. I didn't. I just held my Forex statement. I was happy with that. And then from there, it's a ping pong ball. It's just climbing the stairs. So we break through the demand zone. We come back down to this level here. I grabbed the Nadex statement right on this touch somewhere down here. I can't remember exactly what it was. I'll have to pull up the list. I didn't grab a Nadex statement here, but I would have liked to. I think I was away from my computer at the time. But as we came back up to retest this now supply zone, grabbing a statement, maybe a daily or something that was up above these high points here would have been ideal. Zoom out. Let's see. So once that happens, we break this line. Don't even stop for this one, which is great. But you know, you can be sitting there thinking to yourself, all right, well, where are we going? Where are we going? Well, we established that. We already talked about that. We already know where it's going, right into this demand zone here. So we go into the demand zone, and you can see in the demand zone, our support line held perfectly. Once, twice, three times, broke past a little bit, but the bottom of our demand zone held four times. Four times. Excuse me. Four times that you had the opportunity to ride this down, which I did. I took profit right here, right as it entered the demand zone. I could have held for that, additional little churn down, but I was happy with my profit at that point. So I took profit right as it entered, and then I just played Nadex bounces. I had strikes literally on all of these touches. I had strikes down here until it showed me that it wasn't going to hold. I was going to take those strikes. I did. I took profit on them all. And then when it came back up, where did it come back up to? Right to that support line. So it's literally going just ping pong, bounce, bounce. It's honestly, you can use these, even if it doesn't touch, like right here, you can use that as a strike. You have your 50 moving average crossing underneath your support line here. So you can grab that as a strike. Again, here, when it touches the 50 moving average, grab up above this high here as a strike. You have plenty of opportunities. You had on this resistance line here, you had one, two, three, four tries, and then it was pretty ideal. Now I'm not in anything right now on this pair. I think I've done my damage on EJ, but I had outlines that I think the end goal is down to this zone here. Because if we pop over to our daily, reset this. If we pop over to our daily, you can see that we're approaching overbought levels, but we've still got some room to run down. So I think for now, we could probably see a run down to the bottom of this zone right here, eventually getting ourselves down here. But yeah, I mean, I don't think that this could have played out any better. I mean, I know I personally banked. I know a couple of students who really studied the video and were just ready for this. We had this planned out a week ahead of time, not a day ahead of time. We knew exactly what was going to happen a week ahead of time. So this couldn't have worked out any better. This was picture perfect. If you have any questions about how I played this or why I played this, why any of my students play this, then let me know. But I mean, this is a perfect example of pre-planning your trades, and just be ready, sitting, waiting for the trades to come to you. It's a huge advantage that a lot of people don't take. They just come into the day with a naked chart and some indicators, and they say, okay, well, what's it going to do today? Have areas that that price wants to go, and have trend lines established. Have support and resistance zones established. Have your supply and demand zones. I mean, those are high volume areas. Those are areas that there's a lot of buying and selling. So take advantage of them. Don't just sit back and trade from the hip. Trade shooting from the hip. Trade a plan and trade your chart. It's hugely important, and it will help you out greatly. So again, just a quick recap of what EJ did after we had planned it out. It couldn't have worked out any better. I hope you all had some great trades with it. Take care.